What do you have to become to defeat demons? A central question Frieren asked, and seemed to answer emphatically, back in Season 1. So why is it bringing that back up now? Normally when a show revisits an old question, it has something new to say about that original answer, but that's not what Frieren's doing here. Instead, it's using the question to frame a character study, so we can see the cost of believing the wrong answer, using Genau to show the emotional damage of Serie's worldview, and what happens when you believe so completely that kindness is weakness, grief is a liability, and magic exists only to kill. So today, we're exploring why Genau ends this arc looking less like a cold badass, and more like a man hollowed out by the answer he chose, and how Frieren's party along with Methode helps him take the first step back toward being human again. In Frieren, demons speak like humans, but it's not because they want to express themselves. The act of speech is deception. This fact about the world sets up our central question: what do you have to become to beat them? Flammas Answer, that we saw early in Season 1 during the Aura the Guillotine arc, is built around one simple idea. Just like demons use language as deception to prey on human weaknesses, humans must use mana as deception to prey on demons' weaknesses. Because mana is their organizing principle, demons would never think to hide it. So by hiding hers, Flamma has been able to deceive and kill them before they realize she's a threat. And Flamma knows that Frieren is the mage of a peaceful age, and that she'll help usher it in by beating the Demon King. So once she becomes Flamma's student, Frieren starts learning to suppress her mana. We meet Genau during the first class mage exams. He's proctoring the first test, and we learn quickly how much he believes in his master. Sensei, his fellow proctor, notices that someone's been analyzing the magical barrier, meaning they intend to break it. Genau says, "It's useless because the great mage Serie made it. No one can outdo her." This faith contrasts Sense's skepticism. She's also a student of Serie's, and clearly thinks someone's about to break it. But Genau? He's a true believer. And we learn just what that belief is a little later in the same arc. Serie is deciding if Orbel's going to pass the first class mage exam, asking, "What's your favorite spell?" He answers, This gives Serie a big Cheshire Cat grin that says, "That's my kind of mage." And that's the kind of mage Genau is too, because as Flamma said 1,000 years ago, Serie can't see herself living in a peaceful era, so her belief that magic is a tool for killing is a fundamental part of who and what she is, and she ingrains that view in her warrior mages, and we'll see what that means for Genau. His partner was kind and died protecting a child he didn't know. Serie's response is to blame his kindness as the reason he died. They're overlooking his body in a casket, and she tells Genau, "It's the same in every era. Kind mages don't live long." That's what makes her worldview so severe and makes him a tragic figure, even in the era of peace, that she knows full well they're in. Serie sees it no differently. While this moment's short, it feels like watching a parent pass on generational trauma. Genau's partner and what seemed like the closest thing he had to a friend just died tragically, and all she has to say is, "Yeah, it doesn't matter what's going on. Kindness gets you killed in the world of magic," despite the fact that Frieren, a kind mage, beat the Demon King and lived to tell about it. The scene struck me as one of the ugliest in the series, and it kinda just made me sad for Genau. Because remember, he's a true believer in the great mage Serie. He's not some cartoon hardass who stopped being human years ago. He's a man trying to suppress the parts of himself that first-hand experience, and Serie's reinforcement, have taught him to abandon. We get to see that reinforcement in the rest of the flashback. Serie's gotten up and moved on from his dead partner, and says to him, almost as a back-to-business reminder, Man, she's locking in that trauma. Back in the Divine Revolta arc, the show gives us little signs of the pain Genau is in. He first chooses to stay behind with the bodies of the fallen. Yes, he's choosing to protect them from being eaten by monsters, but this was his village. He knew these people, recognizing the baker's son he played with and how bad his bread was. He can't explain it, but this is his way of showing care, that his village is gone and everyone he grew up with was murdered, and he wasn't there to stop it, like he wasn't there to save his partner. He also stays behind to solo Divine Revolta for revenge, and this choice fits into the broader conflict of Flamma and Serie's schools of thought that background this character study. As Divine Revolta points out to his little demon follower, it's in human nature for at least one of them to stay with the dead bodies. While Revolta explains this as just some human shit he doesn't understand, for Genau, his predictably human behavior punctuates his inability to meet the standard. He can't stop being human in the way that Serie tells him to, and this also reflects back on Serie and her standard. She's never had any of her own human students become a great mage that have gone down in history, not since Flamma, who rejected her teachings and became a legend because she forged her own path. The problem isn't with Genau, or any of her countless human students, it's with what Serie's beliefs require, to become unhuman. After some ferocious back and forth, Genau has Revolta cornered. The fight is basically over, and Revolta is able to buy some time by mentioning Genau's partner. doing the bad guy trope of, oh yeah, I think I remember killing your pal. And of course it works, because Genau cares. Then a little girl appears. Revolta says, looks like you missed one, and whips a sword at her. Genau moves to block it. In one of the most brilliant bits of visual and audio storytelling in the show, the sword lands far behind him, bisecting his wings. We hear the sound of flesh being as the sword hits the ground, and see the feathers wither away. The little girl drives the knife deeper into his stomach, revealing herself to be the demon from earlier. Genau got stuck because he did exactly what Revolta expected him to, and Serie commanded him not to, behave like a human being. He lets him know too, chirping Genau, I was right, humans have a habit of protecting their young. Even someone as hardened as Genau still moves to save a helpless kid. He knows he shouldn't. He's fighting the demon that killed his partner. He can't help it, and that's the point. Divine Revolta acting as a narrative counterweight. Revolta's not fighting against his nature in order to kill his enemy. Instead, like Flamme, he's understanding the essential behavior of his enemy and using it to set a trap, creating an opening to escape certain death and keep the fight going. Serie's worldview can teach mages to suppress kindness, it can teach them to distrust hesitation, it can harden them in incredible ways, but her standard is impossible for people to live up to, because it's not a standard for people. And when you put that up against demons thinking strategically like Revolta, it all comes together to show that not only is Serie's ideal wrong for this era, it's always been wrong for humans. And Genau, a true believer, is suffering emotionally because of it, like I'm sure countless before him did. And if Genau had been allowed to solo Divine Revolta, he'd be dead. But luckily, Stark stayed behind to help him, and together they triumph. The final 2 episodes of this arc are cross-cutting between Genau's fight and Fern and Methode taking on 2 strong demons on their own, Methode being another of Serie's pupils. One of the demons is using a magical fog that renders their mana detection useless. So Methode spends much of her fight just fending off her opponents so she can analyze and dispel the fog. The demon she's fighting recognizes her style from a northern tribe of demon killers. The parallel being obvious, that Methode's tribe and Serie's beliefs are likely one and the same. When Methode eventually dispels the fog, she explains that, had it been anyone else from her tribe, they'd have lost the fight. But because she loves magic and has fun learning it, she figured it out. When Flamme explained to Serie 1,000 years ago that she could never defeat the Demon King, she scoffed. But like the series seems to be doing more and more, Flamme was proved right. Frieren made good on that alternative, and in this era of transitioning to peace and finishing off the remnants of the Demon King's army, even Serie's own students, like Methode, understand that her strict beliefs about magic limit them in battle, and as we see, put a massive emotional weight on someone like Genau. And in the end, it's Methode and her kindness that gets through to Genau, as she prods him, aren't you forgetting something? And Genau thanks Stark, Frieren, and Fern for their help. If you're still watching, you rule. If you dig this, the best way to support the channel is to like and subscribe. And if you really dig it and want to see some more exclusive content, get updates from me, and just support the channel, then Patreon and channel memberships are linked below. Until next time, peace.